Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how I did 4 homemade recipes using fresh pumpkin puree. You guessed it, pumpkin puree, my favorite vegetable this time of year. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you don't know how to make fresh pumpkin puree, pop on over to my Instagram. I have an icon on my page showing you how I did it because, of course, I forgot to record it for YouTube. So head on over there to go ahead and see how to make fresh pumpkin puree. And without further ado, let's see how to do it. First up, I'm going to show you how to make this delicious white bean pumpkin chili. This was my most favorite dish that I made out of this little experiment, and I really hope you guys try this, if not anything else. So of course, we're going to go ahead and start by browning our ground meat. I use ground beef. You can use ground turkey, chicken, whatever you prefer. I like to go ahead and brown that until it's all the way brown and season that with salt and pepper. Now, here is my base roux of what I use for any chili or soup that I make. I always use diced carrots, celery, onions, and for this particular dish, I wanted some cheddar smoked sausages just to give it some more flavor. So the cheddar smoked sausages was not a part of the recipe, but y'all know I get inspiration from recipes, but I always go my own way. So after I salt and pepper my ground beef, I just let that go for a little bit longer, breaking it up all the while. And then after that, I'll go ahead and take that ground beef out of the pan and add a pat of butter and some oil to my pot and go ahead and saute my vegetables because we like a good sauteed vegetable. This took about 15 minutes to saute them and get them nice and soft. If you're noticing, I'm not adding fresh garlic to this because I feel like fresh garlic was going to be a little bit too overpowering, so I will season later with garlic powder. And now after the vegetables have turned translucent and sauteed and softened, now I'm going to add that smoked sausage into the pot and give it a minute to cook. Alright, so guys, here is my spice mix for this dish. We have a whole bunch of things, so if I leave something out, please forgive me. But for the most part, it's black pepper, white pepper, garlic powder, chili powder, crushed pepper flakes, paprika, turmeric, and coriander. You need coriander. That is what's going to make this taste so delicious. So go ahead and add your seasonings to the pot of vegetables and sausages. Do not forget coriander. After my spices, I'm going to go ahead and add a whole quart of beef stock. You can do half beef stock, half water, or whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to add that ground beef back in. This is going to let it break up a little bit more. Next up is our beans. You can't have chili without beans. So I'm going to use a can of cannellini, chili, and a can of diced tomatoes. We all remember the star of the show, our fresh homemade pumpkin puree. We're going to be using about half a cup of it. If I were to ever make this dish again, which I will because everyone in my house loved it, I would definitely use a full cup of pumpkin puree. Like a half a cup is not enough for me, but if you're not a great pumpkin lover, then half a cup will be fine. But trust me guys, you come into my house, I'm gonna use a whole cup. So the secret ingredient also, besides the coriander, is just a sprinkle of cinnamon. It gives it so much warmth. I love the cinnamon in it. And then we're just going to do a nice splash, a nice healthy splash of heavy cream to our chili and then let that whole thing simmer. After about 30 minutes of simmering and letting it cool and come together, we have this thick, luscious pumpkin chili. You guys, when I tell you this was so delicious, my family loved every bit of it. It is a definite must try. Please, please try this. You're going to love it. Without further ado, let's go on to the next recipe. Okay, so next up, I thought I would do something really quick and really simple. Everybody loves that new Starbucks pumpkin cold brew, and I thought that I would show you guys how to do it at home. So we're gonna start with a little pot, and we're gonna do some milk, some heavy cream, our homemade pumpkin puree, some pumpkin pie spice, and I believe some cinnamon. Let's see, I don't know. Oh, nutmeg to come up. No cinnamon in this recipe. Ground ginger would be next, and then some vanilla. We're putting this all in a pot because we are gonna simmer this on the stove and kind of cook it down, let that pumpkin puree cook down. And all the while, we're going to be whisking. We don't want this to form the skin. We're gonna set that aside and let it cool. Take a glass, fill it with some ice, our cold brew coffee, and then we're gonna take our cream we just made and add it to it. It's so nice. Let's see it again in slow motion. I don't know, that just does something to me. If you want this to be a real authentic Starbucks pumpkin cold foam, you can go ahead and froth that cream we made. Top it off with some whipped cream, pumpkin pie spice, and there you have it. So delicious. Up next, we're gonna be doing some overnight pumpkin oatmeal. So we're gonna start in a bowl by putting some rolled oats, some sugar, pumpkin puree, milk. Don't worry, if you don't know if you can't tell the measurements of what I'm using, I have the exact measurements in my description box below. Some heavy cream, some pumpkin pie spice, of course, some ground cinnamon, and I think a little nutmeg to make it a little warm. Yep, a little ground nutmeg. You gotta have your seasonings. We're gonna mix that all up. It takes about 1 minute to mix it completely together. And after you mix it up, you want it to be a nice thick consistency, not runny whatsoever. Now from here, people really just go ahead and put this in mason jars and put it in the refrigerator for overnight, and in the morning they have breakfast. But my kids do not like anything cold like oatmeal, so I went ahead and put it into a disposable baking pan, and then I went ahead and put it in the refrigerator for overnight. That way in the morning when I got up, I just popped it into the oven at 350 for 20 minutes, and it was nice and steamy hot for my kids' breakfast in the morning. I served up a big old bowl for my big boy Christian in the morning, and I let him enjoy that. Breakfast is done overnight, super easy, with our fresh pumpkin puree. I just love that. Our very last recipe is pumpkin chocolate chunk oatmeal cookies. I'm making a batch for myself and Giselle, and also a special batch for my toddler using some toddler formula. So I kind of cheated a little bit. I didn't have to measure out the cookie batter myself. I used the prepared stuff from Trader Joe's, and it tells you exactly what you need for your ingredients from the house. So if you don't have this time to make your own batter, I suggest this one from Trader Joe's. So I went ahead in a bowl, I scored down the mixing batter, and I did half of it for myself and my daughter, and the other half I transferred to a different bowl to use for my toddler. In my half, I went ahead and added some more chocolate chips, just some things that I had laying around the house I needed to use up. And then I crushed a pack of almonds, and I added that to my half, and the rest also to Christian's half. I took this Infamil toddler formula, and I added 2 scoops to Christian's cookies because this is a trick that I get to get him to have more fiber and protein and supplements in his diet. So this is me rolling out our cookies and then smashing down Christian's cookies just so I could remember which ones had the toddler formula in it. And then I took an extra measure and went ahead and actually started using a fork to press down like a pattern in Christian's cookies just to double check to make sure I wouldn't eat the toddler cookies. Again, that Infamil is awesome if you have a picky eater. I swear by it. So I did 2 batches of cookies in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes each, and this is what they turned out like. The small ones are little Christian's cookies, and then the bigger ones with more almonds and chocolate chips are mine and Giselle's. Oh my goodness, my Christian was so ready to try these cookies. He loves fresh pumpkin puree in his cookies. Oh, look at that little hand. So here are a few more that I did. I absolutely love these cookies. They were delicious. I highly recommend the Trader Joe's batch. So these were warm and pumpkiny, and I really liked them. So I hope you give them a try. All right, you guys, so there are my 4 easy homemade recipes using fresh pumpkin puree. I really hope you guys give it a try because I love pumpkin. And until next time, I see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.